roommates? It's your girl Tembi, and today we've got Mr. Charlamagne Tha God stepping into the shade room. How are you doing today?
MB, peace, queen. How are you?
I am fabulous. You got a new show. Well, new show title. How did that come about?
Corporate executives wanted to change the title. They felt like the God's Honest Truth didn't necessarily read like a once a week late night talk show. So they wanted something that reflected what the show topic was. Like I guess like regular viewers that watch Comedy Central, they see the Daily Show. Mm-hmm. They wanted, I guess, something that basically told the viewer at home, what this show was. You see that title, you're like, oh, hell of a week. Okay, you kind of get what that means.
Is there anything like specific about the God's Honest Truth that wasn't working that hell of a week will fix? You think, or do you think?
I mean, the God's Honest Truth had success, but for me, it's just like, man, who am I not to listen to the people that do this every day? Like, these TV executives, they get paid a lot of money to, make television. And so if they're telling me, like, look, man, you make this tweak with a show title, we think you could have even more success. Who am I to fight them on that? And at the end of the day, it's just the title.
And so the show is still the same, but just the title changed, or do you have some differences in the lineup as well?
Well, I changed the format to more of a panel format.
Okay.
The first season, it was me doing like majority of the heavy lifting. I might bring a guest on for like Act 3, I might do a panel conversation in Act 3. Now it's like panel all throughout the show. So it's me at the top, setting the table, and then I just get into conversation with people, which is something that I just enjoy doing. People that have been listening to me on the Breakfast Club for the past 13 years. It's me, Envy, and Angela Yee. You listen to me on my podcast, Doing Idiots. It's me and Andrew Schultz. Even back in the day when you used to listen to me with Wendy Williams, you know what I mean? So it was like I'm used to having those group conversations, being in community with people. So that's the only thing that's changed.
Right. And so because you have so many like different shows, obviously you've got the Breakfast Club, and then sometimes you do like your own solo interviews, and now you've got like Hell of a Week. Is there like, when you're trying to decide, when you have to dip into like your own bag or your own personal network to decide about guests, do you have to pick and choose like which one goes where? Like, how would that work better? Like, what is that process like?
That's a great question. That's an excellent question, actually. A lot of times, man, they pick for me, because a lot of times these artists are, whoever it is, influencers, political people, whoever it is, they say, hey, I want to be on that. They're like, yo, I want to sit down with Charlamagne one-on-one. I'd be like, yo, I want to do the Breakfast Club. They be like, yo, I want to do the TV show. Like, that's how the interview with the vice president came about. Like, they wanted to do the TV show, and I respect that. And it's kind of like artists. Everything is energy. Mm-hmm. So even they see themselves in certain situations, and they be like, you know what? For this, I want to go sit there. For that, I want to go sit there. And so I respect it. So majority of the time, it's the artist choosing for me.
Yeah. And which one's your favorite? Can you say like which like show is your favorite?
Oh man, that's a great question. I'm a radio guy, right? So I'm sitting in this studio right now. I'm here at the Breakfast Club, and like there would be nothing else if it wasn't for this. Like, this is the tree that grew, and all of these other branches and fruit came from this tree.
Right.
So it's hard to ever say anything is more of my favorite than the Breakfast Club, but I'd be lying if I said that, when it comes to like, man, just, you got to be very cognizant of what makes your energy go up and what makes your energy go down. My energy is very up when I'm, making television. I really do like making television, because it's just a different way to tell a story, And I mean, damn, being on radio is like kind of the same, because everything is so visual now. But it's just something about TV, learning how to be successful in that system, that's like really giving me a new challenge that I'm really appreciating. It's stretching me. It's stretching me, and I like it.
So for someone like you, you've obviously been in the game for a while, and obviously I'm sure your own late night show is an amazing thing and goals. But do you think it's like the right move career-wise in like a heavily digital climate to be on TV?
Yeah, because like the thing about whatever content you have nowadays, it's going to be digital.
Mhm.
Like, that's just the truth to the matter. YouTube, social media, you know, whether it's Breakfast Club content, Hell of a Week content, Brilliant Idiots podcast content, it all still has to go to social media.
Right.
Like, we live in this society where it's like they always used to say, if you build it, they will come. That's not necessarily true in this era. Some people will come, but everybody else, you got to meet where they are.
Right.
And that's what I look at it as. I think it's always good to have a base. Like, you know, Breakfast Club is a base, Hell of a Week is a base. So it's great to take that content and, you know, feed the internet, because that literally they both go hand in hand. Like, there's no one without the other. If there weren't television shows and radio shows and podcasts, 90% of this content on social media would not exist.
Right.
You know, so they go hand in hand. So yeah, I think it's a good move.
Being that you're on TV, do you feel like you have to, and it's like a more like political in a sense, like being politically correct on TV versus like doing whatever on the internet? Do you feel like you have to like water your opinions down a little bit, or you can still be a straight shooter?
No, I don't water them down. Now, once I tape and it gets to the editors,
Mm-hmm.
they do what they do. But if you come to a live taping, we in there having a ball. Like,
Yeah.
like that's why everybody got to put their phones away.
Mm.
Like, everybody that comes to watch the taping got to put their phones away and stuff, because we in there having, like, you know, conversations. Like, I always try to tell the television people, man, like, editing is so silly to me.
Why?
Because we live in a world that is uncensored.
Mm.
So it's like, if you wonder why linear television, you know, has lost a lot of ground to the digital world, it's because I can turn on my phone and watch things raw and uncut. So
Right.
when I turn on the TV and I don't get that, it's kind of like, I'm going back to where it's raw and uncut.
Right.
You know?
So
Why
we
do-
actually did, I don't know if you saw, but this was in like 2019 going into 2020. I did a predictions, TSR predictions for the upcoming year. And I said Charlamagne Tha God was going to get his own TV show. And I feel like we put that into the universe a little bit. Was that already like in the works? Like, how long have you been working towards this moment?
Oh man, this has been for a while. You know, this is my third talk show. And I think that's another thing people don't understand. Like, I have no problem starting from the bottom and growing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I had a talk show on MTV2 back in the day called Charlamagne and Friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then that evolved into Uncommon Sense. Uncommon Sense was on for like 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, and then MTV2 stopped doing original programming.
Right.
So if MTV2 hadn't stopped doing original programming, I probably would have never stopped doing that show, because that was a very successful show. Like, that was me, and, you know, Deezus and Meryl used to be on every week with Classic or Trash, and, you know, I had Chico Bean and Carlos Miller and DC Young Fly. I had Cardi B on. Like, this is before everybody was in the positions that they're in now. Like, this was you know, I was the guy hosting the show. I had Andrew Schultz, and I would bring all of these people on. I had Nori before he had a podcast. Yeah. Joe Budden before his podcast. Yeah. So it's like, I've grown in this TV space, and, you know, my guy Chris McCarthy, he was the person at MTV2. You know, now he, you know, it's got this big position at Viacom, and so it just made logical sense for him to be like, all right, now that I'm in this position, let me bring my guy, and let's continue the journey that we started on a decade ago.
Yeah, I want to see you do like more of The View. I saw you on The View, and I think you'd actually be a great co-host. They need to like, I don't think, have they ever had like a male with them, or no? I don't think so as an official host. But is that something you'd ever be interested in, like that type of panel?
I have learned to never say never. You know what I mean? Like if you wanna hear God laugh, tell him your plans. You know, so I am not opposed to it at all. And it's funny you say that, because ever since I did that, and that was my second time on The View. I did The View back in 2017 when my first book, Black Privilege, came out. But ever since I did The View, I've heard that like 5 or 6 times. I don't know if it's because at the end, Whoopi was like, yo, you need to come back and co-host with us. But yeah, I've heard that like 5 or 6 times.
It felt right. Watching it, I was like, I wouldn't be mad at this. I wouldn't be mad at this, you know, seeing this daily or weekly, or, you know, something there. There's definitely something there that needs to be worked on for sure.
Interesting. Who knows? Who knows what God got planned?
We put it into the universe. You never know, it might come right back. And then obviously your the show of your name changed. Show of your name, name of your show changed. Are you gonna do any official stage name changes? Obviously, you have Leonard, and that turned into a big thing. Or are you gonna keep it as Charlamagne Tha God?
Nah, I mean, I'm Leonard McKelvey. That's my government name. Charlamagne is Charlamagne is Charlamagne. Charlamagne is the name I came up with when I was 17 years old in night school reading the history book, and I saw Charlamagne, and I was like, oh, that sounds fly. So I started calling myself Charlamagne because I was already using the moniker Charles. I would be like, I would say my name is Charlie Chronic because we had this stupid ass crew where everybody took a name of marijuana. So it was like Michael Marijuana and Bobby Buddha, Charlie Chronic. So I would always say my name was Charles and Charlie anyway. And when I saw Charlamagne, I just thought it was fly. But it's like, Charlamagne is that's a part of me. That's who I am. That's a personality. And I hate to use the word brand when it comes to people, but it's a brand that I built. So it's not going nowhere. It's just that my name is Leonard McKelvey. I got 4 daughters.
Right.
So I want them to be able to see their last name and have something to aspire to. So that's why I use my last name, so much now.
Is it gonna be like so like when you're doing things like TV, is it gonna be like Leonard and then doing like other things? Is it gonna be Charlamagne? Like, are you gonna like split it? Like, I think for people like Jay-Z, like obviously his stage name is Jay-Z, and then when he's doing other business deals, it's like Sean Carter. So is it gonna be like that type of situation, or are you just gonna ride with it?
I would love for it to be, but my name is too long. So it's like when you see Jay, it'd be like Sean Jay-Z Carter or Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Yeah. Leonard Charlamagne Tha God McKelvey is dumb long. So if anything, you see like Leonard C. Tha God McKelvey, and then some people see Tha God and don't even know that's me, even though that's been my Twitter handle and everything forever. Some people don't put 2 and 2 together. So yeah, it'll be a combination of both.
Okay. And really quickly, obviously, I'm sure you've seen everything going on with Wendy Williams. You guys had a relationship back in the day, in the sense that was part of, how you got started. Any chance we might see the 2 of you do something together? I think that would be pretty cool. Is that even an option?
I doubt it.
No.
And like I said, I say never, but I doubt it only because I feel like people come into your life for reasons, seasons, and lifetimes, and then that was a reason and a season. I'm forever grateful, for the opportunity that, her and her ex-husband, the position they put me in, even if the feeling isn't mutual, I'm going to forever be appreciative of that opportunity. And I just think, we all grow and we do different things. Like Wendy is a 58-year-old woman who has other things to worry about other than, media and entertainment right now. So it's my hope that, she gets healthy and she gets to bow out gracefully. I don't like the way that this whole situation has, played out for her. Like she's regardless of how you feel about Wendy Williams, she's one of the greatest media personalities of all time. Like she's absolutely a radio Hall of Famer. And for a Black woman to go on daytime television and have a show for 13 years, you know how hard that is?
It's hard, and she did it. She killed it. So, hopefully, peace to Wendy, love to Wendy. We'd love to, see her again and on TV or on a podcast, whatever the situation, and putting it into the air again. Maybe you guys can do something together. I think that would be, something for the culture. Why not? So obviously, hell of a week. Do you write your own like punchlines, or do you have like a team who comes up with that?
Combination of both. I definitely got a team, you know what I mean? Because my forte is just, having a unique POV and unique ideas, but they got a million joke writers and they're always, I'll have a concept, I'll have an idea, this is my opinion on it, and they'll throw me like, mad jokes to say. So it's a combination of both. Some things is me that I wrote, some things is me on the fly, some things is things that writers wrote. So it's a healthy combination of everybody.
What's the hardest part doing TV versus radio? Live TV at that.
Ooh. I mean, there's a lot of hard things. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think for me, it's like it's the system of television. for some reason, TV moves a lot faster than radio does and podcast does. And honestly, I don't know if it literally moves faster or just because my mind state makes it feel like it moves faster. So just really just fitting into that 22-minute system and being able to share my POV as well as the guest POV. And really when I do those interviews on TV, that's when it really feels like fast, because we do long form interviews on Breakfast Club and the podcast. Like you just really sit and kick it with people. On
for
TV,
however long.
You got to get to it.
Right.
And it's like, I don't like to get to it. I like to prime people up, warm people up before I get to it. So it's like, that's probably the biggest thing, just the speed of it all. It all feels like it goes too fast.
And what do you have in your cup? Like when you're doing the show, is it like liquor? Is it tea, water?
Tea and water. I haven't gotten to the point where I feel comfortable, drinking my tequila on set. But it's definitely tea and water. I mean, sometimes the guests and stuff be drinking. I get it. I understand. But for me, it's just tea and water right now. I haven't gotten that comfortable yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I would say you've had one of the biggest and best rebrands of all time, from, at some point, people felt like maybe you were rude or chauvinistic and just all these things. And now you're like empathetic and like, you're just like, so it's like a movement. So what is next? What is next for you, for Charlamagne Tha God?
What's interesting about that is like, I'm human at the end of the day. And I think that we live in a world where it's like, we live in a world where people get bits and pieces of other humans. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I feel like I've always been all of those things. I've always been well-rounded, but it was the way I'm presenting myself. If I'm calling myself the Prince of pissing people off, the ruler of rubbing you the wrong way, the architect of aggravation, or, somebody label you like the hip hop Howard Stern, whatever it is, mm-hmm. people will focus on that. But I've always said I'm the perfect balance of ratchetness and righteousness. And then just with time, I'm 44 years old now. Like I'm supposed to still be moving the same way I was 10 years ago. I'm married with 4 daughters now. You know what I mean? So it's just like life changes you. And then I started going to therapy in 2016. I started going to therapy because I realized that, I had a lot of unprocessed trauma and I had a lot of pain and a lot of hurt and a lot of insecurities that I hadn't personally dealt with. So when I started going to therapy, that started putting a lot of things in perspective for me. And then after therapy, it just got me on a journey of healing, period. So, that's where I'm at with it now. But, we got to remember healing isn't linear because, I still might come off as rude to somebody on any given day. Or I might, still like I might still say something that'll offend somebody on any given day. So when you ask me what's next, just growth. I'm gonna keep growing. Like I'm not gonna stop. Like my growth is not dependent on whether or not people believe I've grown or people believe I evolved. Like I'm
to say you escaped cancel culture. It's like at the peak right now, and I think you grew at the right time for sure.
But here's the thing: I don't think cancel culture could ever truly exist, and I'll tell you why I don't think it could ever truly exist, because it's just simply not sustainable. And the reason it's not sustainable is because it's a circular firing squad. We all shooting at each other when we all got shit. Mm-hmm. I grew up in the 1900s and 90s. Mm-hmm. Like there's not any form of content that is hip hop, that is white, that is black, just American pop culture as we know it in the 80s and 90s, early 2000s would be considered problematic now.
Oh yeah, facts. 100%. Like there's so many movies, shows, songs that if they came out now, it would be like, what is happening? But it's like
they got Beyonce and Lizzo changing lyrics because they say the word spaz. I had no idea.
Right. And there's a lot of words that have different meanings as well. So, that's debatable as well, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly. That's my stance. I mean, like, look, words matter. And, words have different definitions, varying definitions. And as long as the person is using the word in the proper context, how could it be offensive? Lizzo and Beyonce use it in the proper context. But the point is, and I said this 4 years ago, because I saw how everything was going 4 or 5 years ago. I said, yo, in 4 or 5 years, I wonder what they're going to tell us we can't say.
Right.
Like we got the basic ones out there. We know the basic ones. Right. But now it's like, wait a minute, spaz? Like that's considered a slur now? And in 3 years from now, it's going to be something else. It's going to be some word that we all use right now on the regular that they're going to be like, nah, that's offensive. You can't say that no more. And I think that's a very, very slippery slope.
100%. 100%. Now, before we get out of here, I just got to know, who told you you look like Morris Chestnut?
I got a mirror. What are you talking about?
It's giving Leonard Almond, but we ain't mad at it.
Leonard Almond. I got a whole mirror.
I am done. Has Morris said anything to you at all, or?
Yeah, we laugh about that all the time because it's like even his homies like, even on social media, like his homies will like post pictures of him but tag me and so vice versa. Like it's a running joke, like it is. Yeah. Like that's something that I don't know. It's something that I think in the future, it could be very, very, very funny. Like we even thought about a while ago. We even thought about like even this was doing like some type of podcast called Twins. Just joking.
I'm done.
Little funny shit. Like so, yeah. It's a thing.
Well, maybe you could get cast as a stunt double one day, his body double one day.
That would be amazing. I would love to pop up on what's the show, The Best Man?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Just pop like somebody. I don't even got to say nothing. Just like a cameo. Like I'm standing there and somebody says Lance, and then I look up and it's like, oh my bad, and just keep going.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Well, thank you so much for stepping into the Shade Room. Please tell people why they should tune in to Hell of the Week, where they can find it, what time it airs, and all of that stuff.
Every Thursday night at 11:30. It's got a new time. It comes on right after the Daily Show on Thursday nights at 11:30 p.m. And I mean, I really just want you to tune in because I really want you to tune in. I can't really sell you on anything unless you sit and watch it. You might not want to see Charlamagne on your late night television Thursday nights at 11:30. But if you do, I think that we got some really good content for you. Like we got some really good guests lined up this season and really good, interesting panels, having some broad conversations about things. So yeah, just tune in every 11:30, every Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. on Comedy Central right after the Daily Show. And you can stream it on Paramount Plus.
Hey, all right. Charlamagne Tha God, talk show host, radio host, author, personality, mental health advocate. Anything else you want to plug right now for the Shade Room fans?
Yes, Sunday, August 28th, we got the Black Effect Podcast Festival in Brooklyn. If you want to come see some of your favorite podcasts live, like the 85 South Show, Horrible Decisions, Giselle Bryant and Robin Dixon, Reasonably Shady, they're going to be doing their podcast live. Jess Hilarious is hosting. She's got a podcast on the Black Effect called Carefully Reckless. And it's just a big festival. It's going to be food. It's going to be drinks. And it's going to be Sunday, August 28th in Brooklyn at the Mirage. You can get your tickets at blackeffect.com/podcast festival. I'm really happy for this event because it is so many different people trying to get into this audio space, and they're usually doing it by launching podcasts. And for me, this is just like a community thing to where all of us can come together. Like we got a business and podcasting panel, a woman in podcasting panel. So it's not just a day of entertainment, it's a day of education.
Was it strategic to do that the same day as VMAs? Or was it?
I didn't know that. I didn't even know that was a VMA. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't even be thinking. I didn't even think about it. None of us gonna be at the VMA. Like we're not artists. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, all my people are podcasters. So
yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't even know that. Is the VMAs in New York?
Yeah, VMAs New York that same day, August 28th.
Oh, well, yeah. Sunday, August 28th, same day as the VMA.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Charlamagne. Hope you have a great day and congratulations and much success to you and your show.
Thank you, Timmy. Peace.
All right, bye.